Hello everyone, your not quite favorite YouTuber here, and today I want to talk about gambling with you. And I know all those gambling scandals already happened a couple of days ago and the whole topic is kind of stale right now, but I was just too busy watching the major and jerking off to pictures of Doja to really make a video talking about it. And I figured I'd rather make a proper video a bit late than do something half-assed when the topic is at its hottest point. Now, I don't actually want to talk about all those gambling scandals with people owning the sites they're gambling on to get more revenue for themselves. I want to talk about underage gambling, which in my opinion is the bigger problem. And I know lots has been said about underage gambling. We know that Valve doesn't really give a shit like at all, and I feel like some things need to change. First of all, we need to change how we view skins. Right now, Valve says the skins don't have any value at all, which is just straight up wrong. I mean, yes, they do not give you a possibility to exchange your skins to real life money, but services like this are provided by third-party sites such as OP skins, so I think it's safe to say the skins have an assumed value, and obviously all gambling sites are going off an assumed value for skins. Now, with this in mind, we can also take a look at what role Valve plays in this whole thing, and it's basically that they are the bank issuing the currency, in this case skins. Now, if we take a look at real-life gambling, quote-unquote, you don't have anybody trying to sue the Bank of America because their daughter or son lost something in an online casino. No, obviously they're trying to sue the casino. And this is what we need to keep in mind. It's actually not Valve's problem. Yes, their stance on gambling might be wrong and they could potentially implement something to deter minors from gambling, but I don't think that the problem lies in their hands entirely. Now, what needs to happen is that all gambling sites need to be required to somehow verify the age of their users. Now, obviously most gambling sites are officially located in the country somewhere at bumfuck nowhere, where they don't really give a fuck about online gambling or maybe don't even know what the internet is. But in this case, not the location of the site is important, but the location of the user. So in my opinion, the best way to implement some sort of age control is either having users register with a credit card that needs to be issued to somebody that is over the legal gambling age in the country the user is trying to access the site from, or register themselves with their ID, similar to like OP skins or Vulcan operate. Now obviously you can just take your mom's credit card and register yourself with this credit card, because in this case it won't really matter because you're not using the credit card for anything more than just registration. You're using your skins to gamble, or you could just use a VPN and access a site from another country where they don't give a fuck about online gambling and everybody is allowed to gamble, even your 9-year-old brother. And yes, it's true, we cannot 100% guarantee that nobody that is not allowed to gamble can actually gamble. And this is the main point that people need to get, in my opinion. It's just not possible to regulate something that is so unregulatable as the internet, because in order to do so you need to have full cooperation from all parties, and at least two parties, namely the gambling sites and the users, will certainly not cooperate. The gambling sites because they know that they're making too much money off of minors, and the users because they don't want to lose the access to their gambling sites because they are minors. Obviously gambling sites might be doing some way more shady stuff than just having underage users gamble on their site, but that's not the topic of this video. And in this case, I feel like the best possible option is just to make gambling as hard to access as possible for anybody that is under the legal gambling age. And the best way to do it is just to have some sort of restriction, like register with a credit card or an ID. Obviously, you need to have gambling sites to cooperate with you, but it's quite easy to block access to certain sites from certain countries. And this is where we probably also need Valve to step in and actually help the whole thing, because I know Valve is benefiting big time off of gambling, and obviously with that also underage gambling, but I think that their reputation in the long term will suffer quite a bit if they do not take action in the near future, and obviously doing so will severely hurt the CSGO economy. And yes, it might be bad for the popularity of the game, because they would also have to regulate betting, which is obviously also a big factor for Counter-Strike's popularity. So yes, Valve actually might have to shoot themselves in their own foot, at least to a certain degree, but I think that in the mid to long term, anything done in this direction will only yield positive results compared to not giving a fuck at all and just not doing jack shit. Obviously, there is no perfect solution, and there are many possible ways how to tackle this whole problem, and I feel like right now almost all parties involved are doing the worst possible thing, and almost anything that is being done would have a positive impact on the whole problem. So yeah, those are kind of my 2 cents about the whole underage gambling thing. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on the subject, what you think needs to be done. Do you like gambling? Do you gamble yourself? Maybe do you gamble even though you probably aren't legally allowed to? Let me know any thoughts you might have considering the subject in the comments down below. I'd very much appreciate any feedback also about this kind of content on this channel. And yeah, like the video if you enjoyed it, sub if you haven't done so already, and until next time, bye!